You've been asking why. Why the road that once felt smooth now feels jagged beneath your feet. Why familiar paths now seem veiled in mist, heavy and silent. Why your heart, once ablaze with certainty, now flickers with faint unease. You notice the shift. You sense the quiet unraveling in the spirits of those around you. The gatherings are smaller. The voices, once fervent, now hushed. The fire in their eyes, now merely glowing embers, memories of passion once alive. You watch them subtly slip away. Not always with rebellion, sometimes with resignation, sometimes with simple weariness that whispers, maybe this is enough. But you, beloved, cannot rest in resignation. You feel it, don't you? That weight pressing in, heavy, invisible, undeniable. A tension not birthed from failure, but from friction. You rub against the unseen systems that others have long accepted. You feel the pressure where others feel peace. You feel restless where others feel at home. You've wondered if it's you, if you are broken, if you are fading, if perhaps you too will eventually drift into that quiet resignation. But hear me, you are not fading. You are being refined. What others have settled for, your spirit can no longer accept. What others celebrate, you quietly grieve. Where others compromise, you feel discomfort. Where others are numb, you remain sensitive. This is not your downfall. This is your awakening. You have become more sensitive, not weak, not fragile. Sensitive. You are more aware now than ever. You sense things beneath the surface. You hear my whispers in the silence. You discern what many dismiss. And yes, beloved, sensitivity can be painful. It isolates. It causes grief in rooms filled with laughter. It makes you feel estranged even among friends. It causes you to wrestle in solitude when others sleep peacefully. But this is not punishment. It is purification. I am drawing you out, not to remove you from people, but to remove you from pretense. You are being set apart for communion, not comfort. This is why the shaking came. Not to destroy, but to dislodge. Not to break you, but to reveal what could no longer remain. You asked me to use you. You said, "Yes, Lord, send me," and I took you at your word. I began the sacred work of refining you in hidden places. Places where applause could not reach. Places where performance fell silent. Places where only me and you existed. I tested your yes when no one was watching. I whispered in nights so still you questioned if I was near. But I was there, not distant, not indifferent, but deliberate. I was building endurance. I was forming foundations. I was preparing you for fire, not to burn you, but to trust you with it. You have survived seasons that would have shattered others. Betrayal, isolation, confusion. Silent inner wars that no one saw. But I saw them. I counted every tear that fell in darkness. I caught every whispered prayer of desperation. I held you when you didn't know I was holding you. You think you've been quiet. But in the spirit, your endurance has been loud. Your staying has become a song. Your consistency has become worship. Your faithfulness in fatigue has become fragrant incense before me. Beloved, only the chosen stay until the end. Not because they are stronger, but because they have learned to remain connected. You have not been disqualified by your struggle. You have been deepened by it. When you stayed while others left, I saw you. When you believed while others settled, I honored you. When you grieved but still obeyed, I delighted in you. You wonder, am I still chosen? Child, you are not just chosen, you are marked. Even when you tried to blend in, I marked you. Even when you silenced your passion, I stirred it. Even when you felt forgotten, I never forgot. You were not created to fit in. You were created to stand apart, not as a trophy, but as a vessel. Not as decoration, but as habitation. You carry a grace that others do not understand, and they were never supposed to. I know you feel the cost, the loneliness, the surrender, the daily dying to self. But this is the narrow road. This is the path of the chosen. You were formed for communion, not crowds. You were built for closeness, not convenience. You were refined for intimacy, not influence. And in this place, the quiet, the hidden, the surrendered, I have become your portion. Not hype, not hurry, but me. You don't need more noise. You need my nearness. You don't need more confirmation. You need my companionship. This is where many turn back. Right here, in the middle ground between what was and what will be. But not you. You will stay. You will endure. You will trust when clarity is absent. You will rest when answers are delayed, because you are not who you used to be. You have been transformed in the furnace. You have been reshaped by holy tension. You have been prepared through sacred silence. You no longer crave validation. You hunger for my voice. You no longer hide behind performance. You lean into my presence. And even when you feel unworthy, especially then, you remain mine. I chose you before the pain. I refined you through the pain. And I will release you after the pain. This is your awakening. Not to strive, not to perform, but to abide. The shaking was never to destroy you. It was to awaken you to the truth. You are chosen. You are trusted. You are being prepared for glory. Stay, beloved. Stay when it feels silent. Stay when it feels slow. Stay when it feels hidden, because the awakening has only just begun, and only the chosen stay until the end. What you thought was loss was love. You called it abandonment. I called it alignment. You called it rejection. I called it redirection. You called it failure. I called it formation. You wept over what slipped through your fingers. I smiled, knowing what I removed was never meant to anchor you. This is the part few talk about. The sacred stripping, the holy undoing, the divine subtraction that feels like devastation, but is actually deliverance. I did not take from you to punish. I removed from you to preserve. Because where I am taking you, beloved, there can be no clutter in your soul, no hidden idols, no quiet dependencies that whisper louder than my voice in moments of weakness. You asked me for fullness, and fullness demands emptying first. I removed what numbed you, the relationships that quieted your hunger, the routines that dulled your sensitivity, the ambitions that entangled your motives. You felt the tearing, you cried at the severing, but I was merciful enough to do what you wouldn't, to cut what you clung to release what you kept resurrecting, to silence what kept you from stillness. You did not fail, child. You were freed. I exposed what pretended to sustain you, your reputation, your self-sufficiency, your ability to control outcomes. One by one, I peeled them away, not out of cruelty, but because I will never let you mistake gifts for the giver. I will never let you find identity in assignment. I will never let you depend on applause when my voice is your only true affirmation. This felt like death because it was. The death of what could not cross over. The death of layers that protected you but imprisoned you. The death of versions of you shaped by survival, not surrender. You wondered, is there anything left of me? And I whisper now, yes, the truest you remains. I let you feel the ache of absence to reveal the truth of presence. You sat in rooms that once thrilled you, now feeling strangely foreign. You joined in conversations yet felt invisible. You reached for connections that no longer reciprocated. And I was there, in the absence, in the loneliness, in the awkward quiet where crowds could no longer comfort. I did not leave you there to abandon. I led you there to awaken. Because when the noise dies down, when the attention fades, when the invitations stop coming, you discover what has always mattered: me. In your desert, I became your dew. In your famine, I became your feast. In your night, I became your nearness. You did not lose yourself. You lost what covered you. False narratives, old mindsets, inherited fears. I stripped them gently, even when it felt violent. I broke agreements you didn't know you made. I shattered lies whispered in childhood. I uprooted words spoken in anger that still lived rent-free in your soul. You were not being punished. You were being purified, and purity feels like pain when pollution has been home. But look now, you see clearer, you feel deeper, you hear sharper. This is what the stripping does. It exposes what is raw but what is real. I took you off stages to place you in sanctuaries, not sanctuaries built by men, but the sacred sanctuary of my presence, hidden from public eyes, hidden from familiar rhythms, hidden from shallow validation. Where others stopped seeing you, I saw more. Where others forgot your name, I carved it deeper in my heart. Where others moved on, I moved closer. Because what I am building in you cannot be rushed. It cannot be surface deep. It cannot be platform driven. I am not preparing you for performance. I am preparing you for permanence. This is the holy work of subtraction. You cannot carry everything and expect to run freely. You cannot cling to everyone and expect to hear me clearly. You cannot keep every comfort and expect to grow deeply. So I stripped you, not because I wanted less of you, but because I desired more for you, more glory, more intimacy, more power flowing through clean, open, surrendered vessels. I emptied you to fill you correctly. I silenced you to teach you new songs. I hid you to prepare you for holy unveiling. Child, this was never rejection. It was redirection. You cried when doors shut. I rejoiced because better doors were being built. You mourned when people walked away. I celebrated because I was introducing divine alliances. You panicked when the familiar dissolved. I smiled because the new had already been initiated. Your tears watered the seeds you didn't know you planted. Your surrender broke the ground that had grown hard. Your quiet obedience rearranged your atmosphere. You did not fail. You did not fall behind. You simply fell deeper into me. I am stripping, not to leave you bare, but to leave you real. You will no longer wear the masks you once needed. You will no longer speak in tongues of survival. You will no longer perform holiness to hide insecurity. You will be known in heaven and on earth as the one who stayed, not polished, but purified, not loud but loyal, not perfect but present. And when the world looks for those who did not bow to bitterness, those who did not compromise to fit in, those who did not sell their soul for speed, your name will rise. Because only the chosen endure the stripping, only the chosen embrace the silence, only the chosen stay until the end. This is not the end of subtraction. There is more I will remove, not to harm, but to make room. I am gentle, I am precise, and I will not strip anything you still need. But know this, when it's gone, release it. When it fades, bless it. When it breaks, let it fall. For in the hands of surrender, emptiness becomes expectancy, and expectancy makes room for me to dwell. Stay surrendered, beloved, for what I strip in secret, I will soon reveal in glory, and you will see with unveiled eyes. Ah, this was not rejection. This was preparation. Thy stripping is sacred, and only the chosen stay to see what waits beyond it. You asked to be used greatly, so I placed you in the fire, not to destroy you, not to discard you, but to forge you. There is a fire that refines, not burns. There is a furnace that purifies, not punishes. There is a flame that does not consume but consecrates. And you, beloved, have walked through it. You know its heat. You have felt its breath. You have carried its weight when no one else could see. The fire did what comfort never could. Comfort would have coddled the impurities. Success without preparation would have poisoned the foundation. Applause too soon would have hardened your heart. So instead, I allowed the furnace, the private, unseen, grueling fire, the kind that burns away everything that cannot last, the kind that leaves only the unshakable. You thought you were being abandoned. You were being anchored. You thought you were being punished. You were being purified. You thought you were dying. You were actually being awakened. The furnace exposed every false thing, false strength that cracked under pressure, false joy that evaporated in sorrow, false hopes that folded when the winds turned cold. And though you tried to rebuild what crumbled, I whispered, let it fall. Because only what survives the furnace can sustain the future. I watched you in the fire. I never turned away, not for a second. I saw every tear you swallowed down. I heard every silent prayer you whispered through clenched teeth, counted every time you showed up with trembling hands and a fractured heart. You thought no one noticed, but heaven leaned in. Angels stood in awe, because only the chosen endure the hidden furnaces and remain faithful. You prayed for promotion, but I answered with purification. Because I love you too much to place you on platforms that your soul cannot support. Because I have called you not to impress, but to impact. Not to perform, but to carry my presence with weight and authority. And that kind of authority is not gifted cheaply. It is forged slowly, in long nights of wrestling, in seasons of silence where no answers came, in the betrayal that broke your heart but built your discernment, in the isolation that stripped away every false anchor. This is why the betrayal had to happen. You needed to see who could walk the long road with you. You needed to discern loyalty not in words but in sacrifice. You needed to learn the difference between partnership and parasites. And so, I allowed certain hands to fall away, not to leave you empty, but to leave you pure. Some losses were not losses at all. They were protection. You didn't lose loyalty. You were spared disloyalty. You didn't lose support. You were separated for sustainability. This is why the delays came. You saw doors close that seemed perfect. You watched opportunities dissolve at the edge of your reach, and you wondered, did I miss it? No, beloved. You didn't miss it. You missed disaster. I rerouted you from promises that would have poisoned you. I delayed your arrival because I was deepening your roots. If I had allowed you to flourish prematurely, the weight of the future would have crushed you. So I hid you. I withheld. I refined. I waited. Because greatness without depth is a house built on sand. And I have destined you for stone, not sand. For legacy, not just for visibility. The furnace formed a different kind of faith. Not a faith that needs constant evidence. Not a faith built on temporary blessings. Not a faith that wavers when storms rage. But a faith that anchors even when prayers seem unanswered. A faith that clings even when emotion falters. A faith that says, even if he slays me, yet will I trust him. That is the kind of faith the furnace births. That is the kind of faith you now carry. And it is rare, beloved. It is precious. It is eternal. You are carrying scars, but they are not shameful. They are sacred. Your scars are the proof that the fire touched you, and that it did not consume you. Your scars are the map of every battle fought and survived. Your scars are the silent sermons that will speak to nations yet unseen. When you speak, people will not hear theory, they will hear authority. When you pray, atmospheres will shift, not because you shout, but because you stayed, because you endured, because you carry the fragrance of the furnace. I am proud of you, not because you performed perfectly, not because you navigated the fire flawlessly, but because you stayed. You stayed when you wanted to run. You stayed when your heart broke in half. You stayed when the enemy whispered, "Give up." You stayed, beloved. And staying is stronger than striving. Staying is the proof of the called. Staying is the evidence of the chosen. You are almost through the fire. The final embers are dimming. The final layers are falling away. And when you step out, you will not smell of smoke. You will not wear the residue of regret. You will not be wrapped in the ashes of what burned. You will walk forward radiant, refined, real, carrying weight that does not crush, carrying authority that does not need to scream, carrying glory that does not fade. The fire was never your enemy. It was your anointing. It was your divine classroom. It was your sacred forging. It was your preparation for promises too heavy for the unrefined to hold. And now, beloved, the flames are releasing you. The heat is yielding to the breeze of my spirit. The coals are giving way to corridors of destiny. You are stepping out, not broken, not bitter, not barren, but burning with holy fire. The chosen do not fear the furnace. The chosen are formed by it, and only the chosen stay until the end. I did not call you only to survive me, I called you to know me. Endurance was never the end. Refinement was never the prize. These were preparation for what matters most. Me, not just my promises, not just my blessings, not just my power, but my presence. I strip away the surface to reveal what has always been my desire: communion. Not transactional interaction, not rushed requests, not seasonal desperation, but daily, steady, honest, unfiltered communion. You are invited closer, closer than what ministry taught you, closer than what religion dared suggest, closer than what fear told you was available. You are invited past the outer courts, past performance, past duty, past pretending, into the holy place, where striving ceases, where masks fall away, where your soul is seen and not shamed, into the place where the only agenda is love, the only expectation is presence, the only goal is me. You've tasted survival. Now taste intimacy. You know what it feels like to fight. You know how to endure. You know how to keep going when weary. But now, beloved, I ask for something different. Not your fight, not your performance, not your defenses. I ask for your presence. I desire you not in your strength but in your surrender, not in your clarity but in your questions, not in your perfection but in your presence. Because I want you, the real you, the raw you, the quiet, unpolished, unguarded you. Depth is where destiny is formed. Surface living will not sustain where I am taking you. Hollow faith will not carry the mantle I have prepared. You cannot lead others where you have not gone. You cannot reveal me without knowing me. And knowing me requires depth. Depth costs. Depth requires saying no to shallow comforts. Depth demands the death of spiritual complacency. But depth births what only intimacy can produce: clarity that cannot be shaken, peace that cannot be stolen, vision that does not blur when storms arise. Depth produces unshakable sons and daughters, and you, beloved, are called to be one of them. Come, let me teach you again. The world has taught you self-preservation. The church has taught you performance. Pain has taught you walls, but I will teach you wonder. I will teach you stillness. I will teach you how to walk with me, not just work for me. I will teach you slow, will teach you simple. I will teach you sacred rhythms that override burnout and busyness. Not for ministry, not for applause, not even for breakthrough, but for love, because intimacy is not the means to a ministry end. Intimacy is the end. Make room for me again. Not in emergency, not in crisis, but in consistency. In the quiet mornings when nothing feels urgent. In the simple afternoons where routine numbs your senses. In the sleepless nights where your mind races with unspoken questions. Invite me there. Talk to me there. Let me sit with you there. Not for answers, not for outcomes, but because I am your friend. And friendship is not about fixing. It is about presence. Return to the simplicity of first love. You have complicated what was always simple. You have layered what was always light. You have analyzed what was always about affection. First love says, I want you more than clarity. I seek you more than strategy. I choose you more than opportunities. First love is not childish. It is holy, and I am calling you back. Back to when my whispers were enough. Back to when my nearness satisfied you more than results. Back to when you loved me not for what I did, but simply for who I am. Consecrate your daily moments, not with religious rigidity, but with sacred awareness. Start your mornings with me, not from obligation, but from overflow. Invite me into your decisions, not from fear, but from trust. End your days with me, not from exhaustion, but from affection. Let prayer be breath again, let my word be bread again. Let worship be water again. I am not far, I am not silent. I am waiting, not outside, inside. Depth is costly, but shallowness is emptier. Yes, this path will cost you comforts others cling to. Yes, this way will make you strange to those who settle. Yes, this depth will prune what refuses to yield. But beloved, shallowness is more costly. Shallowness costs clarity. Shallowness costs destiny. Shallowness costs intimacy. And you, child, were not called to live light and hollow. You were created to live heavy with glory, heavy with revelation, heavy with me. You will become dangerous to darkness, not because of how loud you shout, not because of how perfect you perform, not because of how often you post, but because you walk deeply in me, because you know my voice when others are confused, because you discern my movements when others are distracted, because you carry my nearness when others carry anxiety. Depth makes you dangerous. Depth makes you discerning. Depth makes you different. This is the invitation. Not to do more, not to become impressive, not to please me, but simply to know me, to know my laughter and my sighs, to know my movements and my pauses, to know my burdens and my joys, to walk so closely that your steps echo mine. This is not reserved for spiritual elites. This is not exclusive for history makers. This is available to those who simply say, yes, I will stay. Stay for more than answers. Stay for more than breakthroughs. Stay for more than public reward. Stay, because I am worth it. Stay and because I am enough. Stay and because only the chosen stay until the end. You thought you were still waiting, but the shift has already begun. You measured seasons by sight. You assumed delay was denial. You believed stillness was stagnation. But child, while you watched, while you wrestled, while you wondered if you missed your moment, I moved. Silently, sovereignly. Surely, not everything I do begins with noise. Not everything I start announces itself in headlines. But make no mistake, the shift has started. I shifted first in the unseen. Before doors, I shifted your desires. Before promotion, I shifted your posture. Before fulfillment, I shifted your foundation. You wanted change externally. I demanded transformation internally. Because only those whose hearts are aligned can carry what is holy. You did not miss the moment. You became the moment. Your yes, steady and quiet, activated heaven's timetable. Your obedience, private and costly, unlocked divine release. And now the invisible begins to break into the visible. You will begin to see signs everywhere, not coincidentally, not emotionally, not randomly, strategically, specifically, suddenly. You will notice divine interruptions. You will hear familiar phrases repeated. You will meet people assigned for your next. You will encounter clarity in unexpected spaces. Do not call them chance. They are confirmations. They are whispers of heaven saying, yes, it has begun. Doors will open without striving. You were taught to knock harder. You were taught to campaign louder. You were taught to market yourself constantly. But the doors I open and not yield to manipulation. Do not respond to pressure. Do not respect popularity. They respond to obedience. They respond to alignment. They respond to my decree. And beloved, I have decreed over you. Not recently, eternally, not casually, covenantally, not emotionally, I'm intentionally. This is why doors will swing wide now. Not because you are finally ready, but because I said, now. You will not chase. Favor will find you. Your name will enter rooms your feet have not touched. Your story will inspire hearts you have never met. Your faithfulness will become currency in realms unseen. You will not beg for placement. You will be positioned, not through competition, through consecration, not through ambition, through availability, not through self-promotion, through my hand lifting what was hidden. You are about to be seen, not for ego's sake, but for heaven's sake, because what I deposited in you privately must now impact publicly. The shift will test your humility. Do not be surprised when rooms begin to honor you. Do not be caught off guard when invitations increase. Do not shrink back in false humility. But remember, honor does not make you holy. Visibility does not make you valuable. Stay low while I lift you. Stay hidden in me while I reveal you to men. Remember, staying humble will preserve what release exposes. Your goal is not applause. Your posture is still abiding. Old cycles are breaking. New patterns are forming. The patterns of delay, broken. The patterns of fear, broken. The patterns of lack, broken. I am closing doors to old familiar prisons. I am opening gates into fields of freedom. But freedom is not chaos. Freedom still requires pattern, holy pattern, sacred rhythm. You will not maintain new places with old habits. So watch how you walk. Order your days with me. Consecrate your schedule to stay steady. What I release to you, I entrust to you, and stewardship sustains what surrender initiates. Sudden clarity is coming. Where confusion reigned, focus will return. Where uncertainty clouded, wisdom will flow. Where distraction drained you, vision will sharpen. You will wake up knowing what to do. You will move with divine instinct. You will speak with heaven's boldness, not because of your intellect, but because you stayed long enough for wisdom to find you. This is the reward of the chosen. Not just open doors, but open eyes. Aligned people are being assigned to you. No more explaining your passion to the uninterested. No more apologizing for your fire to the lukewarm. No more being misunderstood by temporary companions. I am sending those who see what you carry, those who hear what you hear, those who walk in what you walk in. They will not compete. They will complete. They will not drain. They will build. They will not dim. They will ignite. This is covenant alignment, not gathered by preference, but by divine purpose. This is the season of sudden release. You have known slow. You have known silence, you have known stretching, but now, beloved, you will know sudden restoration, sudden provision, sudden reconnection, sudden reversal of what seemed final. Because when heaven decrees, earth responds quickly. When I say now, there is no delay. When I release, nothing can restrain. And I say over you now, it is time. But do not confuse acceleration with abandonment of process. Speed does not remove intimacy. Faster does not replace deeper. You are not being pushed. You are being drawn. You are not being hurried. You are being aligned. Move swiftly, but stay rooted. Step boldly, but stay tender. Speak confidently, but stay teachable. The release is holy. Treat it as such. Because what comes quickly can still remain eternal if stewarded correctly. This is not hype. This is heaven. You will feel it. You will see it. You will know it. Not by the chaos of man, but by the clarity of my spirit. And when others ask, how did it happen so suddenly? You will simply say, I stayed through the fire, stayed through the stripping, stayed through the stillness, stayed through the sifting, and now I stay in Him, while He releases through me. Beloved, the shift is not coming, it is here, and only the chosen recognize it. Only the chosen move with it. Only the chosen stay in it. Stay alert, stay sensitive, stay surrendered, because from this moment on, what you once waited for is now waiting for you. You stayed, now you will be sent. You did not endure for endurance's sake. You did not wait only to survive. You did not surrender only to be refined endlessly. You were prepared for something. You were processed for purpose. You were broken to be trusted with building. This is the divine shift, from hidden to herald, from refined to released, from surviving to sending. Beloved, now comes the sending. I am commissioning you, not to places, but to people. The world sees geography. I see hearts. The world counts platforms. I count souls. You are not being sent to chase fame. You are being sent to awaken the sleeping. You are not being sent to dominate systems. You are being sent to release freedom. This commissioning is not about noise. It is about nearness, bringing me near to where people thought I had left, revealing my tenderness in places they thought I could not reach. You are not merely being released into destiny. You are being released into the harvest. You carry me now, not an idea of me, not a theology about me, not a memory of me. Me, my weight, my wisdom, my voice, my fragrance. You were emptied so that you could be filled, not with ambition, but with authority, not with pressure, but with presence. You now walk as a carrier of heaven. You will not only speak for me, you will release me. Rooms will shift when you enter, not because of your charisma, but because of my nearness resting on you. I am trusting you with my reputation. You will be my voice to the bruised. You will be my touch to the broken. You will be my answer to the abandoned. Your life will say, He is still near. He still restores. He still calls the forgotten. He still sends the surrendered. This commissioning carries weight, not for your ego, but for my glory. I trust you because you stayed. I trust you because you said yes when no one clapped. I trust you because your obedience outlived your emotions. I am calling you to lead, not from position, but from posture, not from rank, but from relationship, not from pride, but from purity. You will lead with scars that sing of my faithfulness. You will lead with eyes that see beyond appearances. You will lead with ears tuned to heaven more than human opinion. Your leadership will look different. It will confound those who value systems over surrender. It will frustrate those who seek formulas over faith. But do not shrink back. You were not formed in fire to fit in. You were forged to be free. I am sending you into places where others compromise, not to condemn, but to call higher, not to judge, but to invite deeper, not to compete, but to cultivate hunger. You will not blend, you will not bow, you will not dilute, because compromise never carried glory. And what I placed in you is holy. Stay pure, stay rooted, stay bold. You are not sent to echo culture. You are sent to establish kingdom. This commissioning comes with protection. You have feared being seen. You have worried about attacks. You have questioned if exposure would destroy you. But beloved, you are not being sent uncovered. You are not being released without reinforcement. Heaven goes with you. Angels surround you. My spirit empowers you. No weapon formed will prosper. No accusation will stick. No scheme will succeed. You were hidden to be fortified, and now that you emerge guarded by grace. You are not sent alone. I am aligning you with kingdom builders. I am assigning co-laborers who carry the same fire. I am surrounding you with voices who protect your purity. You will not carry this mantle isolated. You will not build this assignment exhausted. Help is being released. Support is being established. Covenant relationships are being ordained. You stayed alone, but you will build together. Do not fear the responsibility. Yes, the mantle is heavy. Yes, the calling is costly. Yes, the journey will test you. But beloved, I trust you. I trust your heart. I trust your history. I trust your hunger. You will not fail because you are flawless. You will not succeed because you are skilled. You will finish because you are faithful. And faithfulness is what heaven crowns. This is your commissioning moment. Not when crowds cheer, not when headlines read your name, but right here in the quiet, in the sacred, in the intimate. The Lord decree, you are sent, you are sealed, you are sanctioned. Walk now in the authority of the chosen. Speak now in the wisdom of the refined. Move now in the power of the filled, because the waiting is over, the training has ended, the hiding is complete. Now you are released, not to strive, but to steward, not to prove, but to provide, not to dominate, but to disciple. And you will be known in heaven and on earth as the one who stayed and the one who was sent. Because only the chosen stay until the end, and only the chosen are commissioned when the end becomes a new beginning. I did not send you to be crushed. I sent you to carry. What I have placed on your life is not light. It is not casual. It is not common. It is weighty, because it is holy. But beloved, do not confuse weight with burden. The world places burdens that break. You place weight that builds. The world places expectations that exhaust. I place assignments that establish. You are not carrying punishment. You are carrying presence. You are not carrying shame. You are carrying my spirit. You are not carrying pressure to perform. You are carrying permission to release. The weight is not proof of punishment. It is proof of trust. I would not place this on one I did not trust. I would not entrust influence to a shallow vessel. I would not hand glory to a fleeting heart. You were refined for this. You were marked for this. You were chosen, not to escape weight, but to carry it with wisdom. You asked for impact. You asked for glory. You asked for me, and I said yes. But all of these come with a price, and beloved, you agreed. The holy burden will shape your rhythm. You will not live fast anymore. You cannot live careless anymore. You must live aware, anchored, attentive, because glory is not rushed. Power is not microwaved. Fruitfulness is not frantic. You will rise early, not to impress me, but to walk with me. You will pause often, not out of laziness, but to remain sensitive. You will protect your spirit, not out of paranoia, but out of priority. Because carrying me requires capacity, and capacity requires consecration. You will feel the cost. The cost of walking righteously when compromise is easy. The cost of saying no when opportunities knock loudly. The cost of being misunderstood by those who did not see your process. This is holy isolation, not rejection. This is sacred tension, not failure. Yes, others may move faster. Yes, others may grow noisier. But speed is not your master. Sensation is not your measurement. You will walk at the pace of glory, slow enough to hear me, steady enough to finish. Do not envy the hurried. Do not resent the restless. You are called to last, not just to be loud. There will be days you feel heavy. You will sense burdens that do not belong to you. Intercession will grip you. You will feel grief in places others are laughing. Compassion will fill you. You will wrestle in silence while others celebrate. Discernment will anchor you. Do not resist this weight. It is not crushing you. It is calling you deeper. The holy burden makes you sensitive to my heart. The holy burden makes you a priest in hidden places. The holy burden makes you a conduit of unseen breakthroughs. This is why only the chosen carry this, because only the chosen will not run from the cost. You must steward this weight with joy. Joy, not the fleeting happiness of circumstances. Joy, not the fragile comfort of approval, but joy that says, I am honored to carry heaven in my frailty. I am grateful to be trusted with holy responsibility. I will not complain about the privilege to partner with God. Bitterness will try to attach to your calling. Resentment will knock at the door of weariness. But do not let joy leak. Do not let gratitude fade. Do not let familiarity steal your awe. The chosen do not carry in frustration. They carry in wonder. Your strength will not be enough, but my grace will be. You cannot sustain yourself. You will not endure by might. You will not finish by willpower. And I never asked you to. You will stay strong by staying connected. You will keep carrying by staying close. You will move forward by abiding, not by striving. Every day, lean every day, drink deeply every day, return to me. Because your calling is heavy, but your yoke with me is light. I never said life would be light. I said my yoke would be. You will discover this daily. The weight will make you wise. Not wise in intellect alone, wise in spirit, wise in discernment, wise in restraint. You will not waste words. You will not rush decisions. You will not offer cheap opinions. The burden will mature you. The burden will teach you patience. The burden will make you slow to speak and quick to listen. Because those who carry glory must walk with gravity, not to intimidate them, but to illuminate, not to control, but to reveal Christ in their countenance. The weight will not leave, but you will grow stronger. At first, it overwhelmed. Then, it sobered. Soon it will become natural, not because the burden decreased, but because your capacity increased. You will not always feel crushed. You will not always feel stretched. What feels heavy now will become holy, normal later. I am enlarging you. I am stretching your tent pegs. I am increasing your frame. Because where you are going, beloved, light hearts cannot carry heavy glory. You will become one who walks gracefully under divine weight. This is your holy burden, and you were made for it. Do not fear being crushed. You will not break. Do not fear being forgotten. You are engraved on my hand. Do not fear being overwhelmed. I have already made provision. I am the one who gave you this burden, and I am the one who will help you carry it. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not being crushed. You are being crowned. Because only the chosen are trusted with this weight, and only the chosen carry it until the end. You have noticed it, haven't you? The empty seats, the silent exits, the gradual fading of familiar voices, the slow erosion of once fiery hearts. You looked around and wondered, where did they go? Some left loudly, some left quietly. Some still stand beside you in body but have wandered away in spirit. and your heart has broken more times than you can count. But hear me, beloved, you are not alone, and you are not forgotten. You are among the few. You are among the faithful. You are among the chosen who stay. The ability to stay is not a human trait. It is a divine mark. It is easy to begin. It is easy to move when excitement fills the air. It is easy to pledge loyalty when promises are fresh and hope is tangible. But staying when the UI fire cools, staying when the promises feel distant, staying when faith costs more than comfort, that is rare, that is costly, that is holy, and you, child, have stayed. Do not mourn those who left, not in bitterness, not in anger, not in confusion. They were part of your formation, but not all were assigned to your fulfillment. Some were called for a season. Some were permitted for your testing. Some were allowed for your discernment. Not all who walk with you for a time are meant to cross into destiny's fulfillment. And that is not failure. That is faithfulness. You do not measure your calling by who stays with you. You measure your calling by who you stay with. And you, beloved, have stayed with me. I have watched your lonely loyalty, when you served without applause, when you obeyed without affirmation, when you continued without companions. You thought no one saw, but heaven recorded every moment. I have written it in the archives of endurance, have etched it into the testimony of faithfulness, because staying is worship, staying is warfare, staying is witness. You are living proof that loyalty still lives on the earth. The road narrows the closer you get to promise. The crowds thin, the noise fades, the options diminish, because promise is heavy, because destiny is costly. Many admire destiny from a distance. Few pay the price to walk into it. And now you understand. Endurance is the price of inheritance. You are not being punished by loneliness. You are being preserved for legacy. You have been entrusted with endurance. When others traded endurance for ease, you endured. When others traded consistency for convenience, you stayed. When others abandoned the field, when the fruit seemed delayed, you kept planting, you kept plowing, you kept praying. You chose the unseen over the applauded. You chose the eternal over the urgent. This is not weakness. This is not foolishness. This is the mark of the chosen. Endurance will crown you when excitement fades. The excitement fades for many. The initial fire burns low for many. The eagerness shrivels under pressure for many, but not for you, because your roots went deeper than the thrill. Your commitment stretched wider than your emotions. Your foundation was built in the fire. You will outlast storms. You will outlast shifts. You will outlast trends. Because you were not built for moments. You were built for movements. The chosen are not the most talented. They are the most faithful. Many started faster. Many looked stronger. Many appeared more promising. But when the winds rose, when the rains beat down, only the ones with deep foundations remained. And beloved, you remained. Not because you had perfect strength, but because you kept returning to me when yours ran out. You are not here because of flawless execution. You are here because of unwavering devotion, and heaven celebrates your endurance. You are living proof that covenant still exists. In a world addicted to convenience, you have proven that covenant still burns. In a generation that surrenders to the shallow, you have proven that depth still draws. In a culture that quits when discomfort comes, you have proven that perseverance still pleases heaven. You have become a testimony. You have become a landmark. You have become a signpost for others. Because you stayed. Endurance does not make you superior. It makes you surrendered. This is not about pride. This is not about comparison. This is about surrender. Endurance says, even if others leave, I stay. Even if others forget, I remember. Even if others grow cold, I burn. Not because you are better, but because you are bonded on heart to heart, spirit to spirit. With me, there is a reward for those who stay. Not the rewards earth defines, not fleeting crowns, not fading applause, but rewards that echo into eternity. Deeper authority, wider influence, lasting legacy. You will lead because you stayed. You will build because you stayed. You will father and mother movements because you stayed. You will be trusted with more because you proved faithful with less. This is your prophetic mantle, the endurer. You wear it not like armor that isolates you, but like a mantle that releases others. You will revive weary hearts. You will strengthen faltering hands. You will anchor drifting spirits. Because your very existence declares, it is possible to stay. And many will stay because they saw you stay. Beloved, you are not behind, you are rooted, you are not late, you are anchored, you are not abandoned, you are aligned. And the fruit of your staying will far surpass the noise of their leaving. What feels quiet now will thunder in seasons to come. What feels lonely now will blossom into a legacy, because only the chosen stay until the end, and only the chosen inherit what endurance prepared for them. You are among the chosen. You are among the faithful. You are among those who stayed, and the harvest is closer than you know. I told you this day would come. You heard it when nothing looked like it. You believed it when everything resisted it. You carried it when no one else remembered it. And now, beloved, it is upon you. What was whispered is about to be witnessed. What was hidden is about to be heralded. What was only seen by faith is about to be seen with your eyes. This is not imagination. This is manifestation. This is the moment when I turn prophecy into presence. The waiting was not wasted. Every quiet yes, every silent tear, every hidden sacrifice. I counted them all. I stored them all. I multiplied them all. You did not sow into empty ground. You sowed into eternal soil. And now the harvest will not delay. You will see fruit. You will see fulfillment. You will see the faithfulness of the God who cannot lie. Watch how quickly things shift. Seasons that felt stuck will suddenly spring forward. Cycles that repeated endlessly will suddenly break. Paths that felt blocked will suddenly clear. Not slowly, not painfully. Suddenly. Because when I move, nothing can hinder. When I release, nothing can restrain. When I fulfill, nothing can reverse. What held you yesterday cannot hold you tomorrow. I will fulfill publicly what I formed privately. You were shaped in silence. You were matured in hiddenness. You were refined in obscurity. And now, I will reveal you openly, not to elevate your name, but to vindicate my promise. Not to showcase your story, but to spotlight my glory. Not to celebrate your strength, but to reveal my sovereignty. You stayed when it cost everything. You stayed when no one noticed. You stayed when quitting was easier. And now, the one who sees in secret will reward openly. Your name is being spoken in places you never entered. Not because of your networking, not because of your strategy, not because of your efforts, because of my favor. I have placed your name in rooms you did not apply for. I have assigned your story to hearts ready to receive. I have positioned your voice in atmospheres that need alignment. The gates are opening. The invitations are increasing. The divine opportunities are arriving, and none of them will require compromise to access. You will step into answered prayers effortlessly. What once required force will now flow. What once demanded striving will now come with ease, because fulfilled promises do not arrive by flesh. They arrive by faith. You will look around and say, When did this happen? And heaven will smile and whisper, while you stayed faithful, I stayed busy. You rested, I released. You waited, I worked. You surrendered, I accelerated. I am redeeming the lost years. You thought time was wasted. You thought doors were permanently shut. You thought too much had been missed. But I say, no time is wasted in my hands. I will restore what delay tried to devour. I will resurrect what disappointment tried to bury. Will replenish what warfare tried to steal. And it will come back pressed down, shaken together, running over, not to replay the past, but to prepare you for the future. You will gain in days what you thought you lost in years. You will lead where you once followed. You watched quietly for seasons. You served faithfully in shadows. You obeyed without needing titles. Now I will call you forward. You will lead with tenderness. You will lead with wisdom. You will lead with scars that testify, not trophies that boast. Others will trust your leadership, not because of charisma, but because of your history with me. You endured the preparation. Now you will embody the fulfillment. Your yes unlocked legacy. This is bigger than you. This is deeper than you. This is generational. Your staying planted seeds beyond your lifetime. Your obedience built altars for those yet to come. Your perseverance paved highways for future voices. What I am releasing to you is not only for you. It will flow through you. It will rest on your house. It will touch nations and generations you may never meet, because only the chosen build what outlasts them. You will move from survival to stewardship, no longer grasping, no longer hoping barely to hold on, no longer wondering if I will come through. You will now manage fulfilled promises. You will now guard holy assignments. You will now nurture sacred harvest. You are stepping from barely enough into more than enough, from being carried to becoming a carrier, from waiting to walking. This is fulfillment, and it comes with responsibility. But beloved, you are ready, because you stayed. You will see with your eyes what you believed in secret. And when you do, remember, this is not reward for perfection. This is reward for faithfulness. This is not payment for performance. This is fulfillment of promise. You did not earn this. You aligned for this. You did not demand this. You yielded for this. And now, with clean hands, tender hearts and steady spirits, you will see. See joy where sorrow reigned. See clarity where confusion once clouded. See fruit where barrenness once mocked. And when it happens, you will know. Only the chosen stay until the end, and only the chosen see what the end was always meant to reveal. And beloved, you stayed. So now, but you will see. Fulfillment was never meant to be fleeting. I did not call you to taste and then starve. I did not invite you to visit and then vanish. I did not prepare you so you could only momentarily hold what was promised. No, beloved. This is not temporary. This is not seasonal. This is not a passing gift. This is home. You are now called not just to arrive, but to abide, not just to touch glory, but to live in it. You are called to dwell. Dwelling is the reward of the chosen. Many touch me in moments. Few remain with me in rhythms. Many visit when desperation drives them. Few stay when abundance surrounds them. But you who stayed through the fire, you who endured through the stripping, you who trusted through the silence, you are called to live here, with me, in me, through me, daily, naturally, intimately. This is the place where striving dies and abiding begins. I am not calling you to occasional encounters, but a perpetual communion. You used to cry, Lord, visit me. Now I say, child, walk with me. Not visitations, not rare glimpses, not fleeting feelings, but every step, every breath, every word. You will live aware. You will live connected. You will live as one whose roots drink constantly from the river of life. Not driven by hype, not swayed by culture, not distracted by hurry. You will be anchored in presence. My glory is your new normal. You will not need to stir up experiences. You will not need to chase manifestations. You will not need to produce atmospheres. You will carry me in the mundane and the miraculous, in the ordinary and the overwhelming, in quiet moments and corporate gatherings. Your life will become a temple. Your days will become altars. Your words will become incense. Because glory is not about goosebumps, it is about abiding. And you will abide, beloved. You have been prepared for this. This rhythm will be sustained by intimacy, not effort. You do not need to perform to remain here. You do not need to exhaust yourself to keep access. You do not need to manufacture experiences to prove my nearness. I do not dwell in you because of your perfection. I dwell in you because of your invitation. You invited me to stay, and I said yes. Now I am not coming and going. I am not visiting and withdrawing. I am not hovering distantly. I am planted. I am present. I am permanent. You are not a visitor in glory. You are a dweller. Dwelling will shape your identity. You will not introduce yourself as one who once touched heaven. You will walk as one who hosts heaven. Your countenance will reflect my consistency. Your decisions will mirror my wisdom. Your conversations will release my peace. People will sense something steady about you, not flashy, not forced, but stable. That stability will be my presence abiding in you. You will not carry chaos. You will carry kingdom. I will walk with you in ordinary moments, not just in services, not just in worship sets, not just in holy gatherings, but in your morning routines, in your workplace conversations, in your silent drives home, in your moments of laughter and your moments of stillness. You will become familiar with my whispers. You will anticipate my movements. You will recognize my fingerprints everywhere, not because you strive to, but because you stayed long enough for my nearness to become your new atmosphere. This is how you will endure until the very end. The chosen are not sustained by zeal alone. The chosen are not kept by emotion alone. The chosen are preserved by abiding, remaining in me, returning to me, rooting deeply in me, not weekly, not yearly, but moment by moment. Because in this rhythm of relationship, you will not burn out. You will burn bright. You will not drift. You will dwell. And dwelling will make you indestructible, not by might, but by constant mercy. Your life will become an invitation to others. You will not need to preach with pressure. You will not need to convince with force. Your peace will preach. Your consistency will convict. Your abiding will attract. Others will say, how do they carry such rest? How do they remain so anchored? How do they overflow with quiet authority? And the answer will be simple. I stayed, and he stayed with me. This is your ultimate calling, not merely to be sent, not merely to build, not merely to lead, but to become a resting place for me. You are the temple now. You are the sanctuary now. You are the dwelling place, and I, the Lord, am content to make you my home. Beloved, this is the reward of the chosen. Not comfort, but communion. Not ease, but eternal connection. Not fame, but face-to-face friendship. You stayed when others quit. You trusted when others doubted. You remained tender when others grew cold, and now you dwell, not as a guest, not as a visitor, but as a beloved child who has finally come home. Only the chosen stay, and only the chosen dwell. And now, beloved, this is where you will remain, until the end of days, until eternity kisses time, until every tear is wiped away, and every promise is made perfect. You will stay, I will stay, and together we will dwell forever. Amen.